I sit in my bed in stony silence. I don't remember if Dr. Murphy or one of the nurses turned off the television, but it isn't on when dinner is brought in. As yet another orderly sets a plate of chicken and salad on the rolling tray in front of me, I decide this hospital can't help me anymore. They fixed my eyes, but haven't been able to give me any better answers about what's wrong with my sight. And there has been a disturbing lack of news about my mother. I decide I won't play roulette with Dr. Murphy's game of chance, waiting to see if I keep my vision or not. I get out of bed, but have to steady myself as a wave of vertigo hits. It's difficult trying to reconcile the moving sights with my old sense of balance. I grab onto the bed and take a few slow, deep breaths. When I feel steadier, I take slow steps across the room, towards the cabinet that holds my personal belongings from home. Inside is a neatly folded pile of garments. I run my fingers over each, recognizing the feel of denim and cotton. Checking the door one last time to make sure it doesn't suddenly burst open, I take off my gown and dress back in the clothes I walked in with days ago. I put the other few things I brought into the waiting backpack and walk to the door. I pause and listen for a squeak of nurses' sneakers or the scrape of doctors' shoes. People walk in the distance, mixed with indistinct voices and hushed conversations. I listen for the direction each is moving, judging when it would be safest to open my door without being discovered. One pair of shoes stops right in front of my door and the handle turns. I back up slowly, but realize there's no use. I can't undress and jump back into bed like nothing has changed. I straighten my back, ready to confront whoever comes in. Knock, knock, a bright voice says, and a blonde woman about the same height as me opens the door. Evie, the nurse from the night before, walks into the room, her right arm in a sling. She frowns as she sees me. Going somewhere? Your arm, I say, ignoring her question. What happened? She looks down at the injury briefly, then waves her good left arm in front of her face in a dismissive motion. Oh, it's nothing. I was in a car accident on my way home from work. Nothing broken, but there may be some ligament damage and a strain from shoulder to wrist. She adjusts the sling on her shoulder a bit, but then looks back up at me with narrowed eyes. And back to my question. Are you going somewhere? I want to go see my mother. I latch onto one, but not the only reason I was walking out of the room. Did someone already tell you? I was hoping to bring the good news, Evie said, with a playful frown that quickly breaks into a full smile. No, I hadn't heard anything yet, I quickly exclaim, reaching out to Evie's good hand on impulse. Is she okay? What have you heard? I squeak out, almost breathless with excitement. She is in intensive care. That's standard after open heart surgery. But she's doing as well as we can hope for. She should wake up soon, although she might have a breathing tube in. So prepare yourself. She might not be able to talk. Or even if she can, she may not be coherent. Let's go see her. Where is she? I nearly yell, reaching around Evie for the door. Whoa, whoa. You're still a patient yourself. You can go, but unfortunately, you'll have to be in a wheelchair. She opens the door and waves to a waiting orderly. Normally I wouldn't be able to go with you, but since I don't have any official patients on the floor because of my arm, I can take a walk with you. I look from the wheelchair to Evie, wanting to see my mother, but also fighting a nagging feeling that I should leave the hospital. I want to be discharged and go on my own. Evie's face gets serious again. Is everything okay? Any reason you're in a rush? I'm just going stir crazy in here. I'm fine, at least fine enough I can sleep in my own bed. Are you sure? You have a lot of support here in the hospital that you may not have at home, especially with your mother in the ICU. I take a breath and lift my chin. I'm sure. Okay. There is a mountain of paperwork, and the attending will need to check you out. It'll probably take a little while before he gets down to this floor. He may even require Dr. Philbin's sign-off, which may not happen until tomorrow. I can tell the nurses station to get everything started. If you want, we can go to see your mom now and hopefully some wheels will start moving by the time we get back. I smile. Great, thank you so much, Evie. I put the backpack down on the floor and follow her to the hallway and slide into the waiting wheelchair. But who is in charge of my case now, Dr. Philbin or Dr. Murphy? Evie's face twists, her nose scrunching. Who's Dr. Murphy? Outside the hospital, a man known only as Jasper sits on a bench in the green area outside the main entrance, feeding stale popcorn to a few waiting birds. He watches each person who leaves the hospital, looking for the person who drew him here. He doesn't know who they are yet, but it will be obvious when he sees them. He crushes a kernel of popcorn in his hand, sending the pieces out in different directions, watching the birds scurry. His gift is like a microscope. First, he would get the big picture, the least level of magnification. As he gets closer, it zooms in and shows him more detail. But it always takes time for the new level of magnification to come into full resolution. The last few days had finally brought him here, to this hospital. Over the last hour, as the pull of his targets narrowed, he knew he was getting closer. His gift would reveal the person soon. With a jolt, a sense of vertigo floods him as the focus of his gift moves back out, losing clarity again. The person he came for, they are moving. This change only means the chase will take a little longer. But Jasper is patient. Dumping the bag of popcorn out of the oily paper bag, he wads the garbage up in a fist. He stands and walks to the lobby, looking for a place he can settle and wait for the night. Jasper will know them when he sees them. He always did.